everyone, hello back. We are just going forward with the worksheet 14. Worksheet 14 explanation. Worksheet 14 explanations of an MCQs of a KVS MADAAN paper 1 UGC NET. So, if you really like the videos, you just subscribe the channel and click on the bell icons for the more updates. And we are going forward with the KVS MADAAN's worksheet 14. Yeah. So, for the first question, we are just going forward. Yes. So, just see, listen. So you will be getting over here more questions. So the question number 1 will be, if the students are not to follow or not able to follow the teacher in the class, what should the teacher should do? Give them a prompt reply, illustrate with the suitable examples, make the content easier, or they do. Which it is like if the students do not follow the class, then automatically the teacher should be illustrate with the suitable examples so that the student will understand in the first way or the second way. So it is a duty of the teacher to provide them examples so that the student will be in a position to understand what exactly the teacher is teaching. So if the students are not taking interest in your teaching, then you will be. So if the students are not at all putting an interest or taking interest in your teaching, what the teacher should do, what you should do, you as a teacher should do. We should not ignore them, or we should not leave the class, or we should not ask them to pay attention. If we attention will not be created if we ask them to attention. If attention will not be created if we ask them to pay the attention. Attention will be created only through the teaching aids, the what is the teaching technique we are following. So we need to review the teaching method. So if the students are not at all putting an interest or not at all in a position to take an interest in our teaching, we should review the teaching method, right? Yes. So the option for the question number 2, it is the option D, the review the teaching method. What quality of the students like the most in the teacher? So, what quality the students like in the teacher is the compassion. Compassion, the interest, the intention towards the subject, interest towards the subjects, and the positivity or the motivation that the student teacher is providing to the students. The typical times. Yes, it is the compassion. Research has shown that the most frequent symptom of nervous instability among the teachers is explosive behavior. Yes, explosive behavior. The research has shown that explosive behavior often symptoms whenever the teacher explodes to something, or he or she is habituated to the explosive behavior, automatically there is a chance of nervous instability among the teacher. So the teacher should be very calm, and he or she should be too patient in dealing the activities, right? So automatically they should, if, until unless they are peace, they cannot stable their mental aspects. Yes, explosive behavior is such a kind of thing that it will make a teacher to go out of the thinking domain. Which one of the following is appropriate with respect to teacher-student relationship? With respect to the student-teacher relationship, the cordial and respectful relationship is really required. Cordial and respectful relationship is more required between the teacher and student. Yes, yeah. In the lively classroom situation, there is likely to be in the lively classroom situation, if in the live classroom situation, it is like to have an frequent teacher-student dialogues. If the teacher-student dialogues continuously falls, then there is some amount of interest has been generated among the remaining students. The remaining students will put a lot of concentration towards the teaching and what exactly happening in the classroom. So that it is likely to be the frequent, teacher-student dialogue. Complete silence is not a good factor for an effective teacher or effective classroom situation. So there should be there should not be a large amount of discussions among the students. It is only the frequent teacher-student dialogues. For maintaining an effective discipline in the class, the teacher should do what? For maintaining an effective discipline in the class, the teacher should do what? He should deal with them politely and firmly. The teacher should deal with them politely and firmly. Then only automatically there is a scope of maintaining an effective discipline. Those teachers are popular among the students too. When the teacher becomes popular among the students, he helps to solve their problems. If the students have some problem, the teacher, if a teacher then only if the teacher solve the problems, then only the teacher, he or she will be becoming too popular. For example, let us take an example. If the student is feeling very uneasy in the class, so then automatically the teacher suggests to the student to take the rest. So to take the rest, and if the teacher really helped, if the teacher has taken the student to the hospital for the illness, so automatically the problem has been solved. Then automatically the student will really put a good amount of grateful respect towards the teacher, and automatically the popularity of the teacher really increases, right? Yes. Essence of an effective classroom environment is what? Essence of effective classroom environment is lively student-teacher interaction. Lively student-teacher interaction is an essential requirement or minimum the requirement in the effective classroom environment. There should be a good amount of teacher and student interaction, so that there is a scope of maximum subject flow between student as well as lecturer, right? Yes. On the first day of his class, the teacher is asked by the students to introduce himself. He or she, what he or she should do, he or she should tell them about him in brief, not it is like not too complex or not too short or not too large. He should be in a brief manner. He should not ignore, or he should not skip. He should tell them about himself in a brief. Since it is new to the students, on the very first day, the teacher should say something to the students, so they automatically there is a chance of getting some impression on the teacher among the students. Moral values can be effectively inculcated among the students when the teacher frequently talks about the values, himself practices them, tells stories of the great persons, talks of gods and goddesses. See, whenever a student, whenever the teacher speaks a lot about the values, but he or she is not following, then the students will not believe in that kind of things. Or moral values can be inculcated if it is in the practice. So whenever the teacher teaches the moral values to the students, then teacher should be in a position to implement them in practically. So automatically himself practices, then automatically there is scope of getting moral values. Suppose a student wants to share his problem with the teacher and visits the teacher's house for the purpose. The teacher should. If the student has some problems, so he or she has visited the teacher home, then the teacher should extend reasonable help and boost his moral, right? Yes. So the teacher should help, should provide a reasonable help and boost his moral. Yes. Yeah. When some students are deliberately attempting to disturb the discipline of the class by making mistakes, what will be your role as a teacher? So, as a role, when some students are deliberately attempting to disturb the discipline of the class by making mistakes, is giving them an opportunity of introspection. Yes, so and improve their behavior. Whenever a teacher gives a scope of opportunity for introspection and improve their behavior, automatically there is a scope of getting good amount of discipline among the students, and there is no scope for mischief. So automatically the students will get into the good discipline order, right? Yeah. We can 14th question, the last question. A teacher is said to be fluent in asking the questions if he asks. When the teacher is said to be is very good in asking the questions. When a teacher is said to be fluent in asking the questions, if he can ask many meaningful questions in the fixed time. It is not the maximum number of questions asked, whether it is meaningful or non meaningful. It is many meaningful questions asked in the fixed time, right? So then only the teacher is said to be fluent in asking the questions. So if the student, if the teacher is asking the majority of the questions or maximum questions in the more time, he is not said to be the fluent in asking the questions. So as many questions as possible is not the thing. As many questions as possible, which are meaningful, which are not meaningful. No, it doesn't. What is it called as? It doesn't show that teacher is too fluent in asking questions. The teacher is said to be fluent in asking the questions if he can provide a many meaningful questions in the fixed time, right? Yes. If you really like the video, you just subscribe the channel. You just subscribe the channel. Don't forget to press on the bell icon for the more updates. If you have any doubts, please feel free to put on the comment section. And if you really like the video, you just share it to your friends so that it will be really helpful for them towards the preparation. Right? Thank you. Namaste. Vande Mataram.